My show.
And we're live. Welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of the Extra Point. PL Culture in the house. Tasha T Sizzle in the house. Tasha, what you rocking on that T today? Let me see what you got going on.
Well, I have on a Punta Cana t-shirt today. I did not. I had to go to the vet this morning with Pollux Troy, and I didn't want to put my Michigan shirt on to get his cat hair on it.
Okay, I was about to ask where was it? I thought you had on Mays last night on Against the Grain. Come to
I had
find
on.
out.
I had on your stolen Macho Man Randy Savage shirt that I last time I was there. I walked out with.
Let me just put this on the record for the world to see. It is not stealing. She always comes back. Like it's not stealing. It was a gift so she can have a little bit of Texas with her down.
No, I stole it. I stole it.
I was trying to make it sound like theft. But I couldn't see Macho's face, so I assumed it was Michigan. But make sure you have that shirt on by 4:15 Central Time. We will get to that. And your daughter, the beautiful Denise checking in. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, rudeness.
You will make a great military trainer, Denise, because you about that business. You about that action, boss.
Yeah, this is what she sent. Y'all see this?
Yeah, snap and snap. I love it. She's a professional. She's a hustler, an entrepreneur. She could be a model. She could be the next Phyllis George. Oh, I'm gonna digress. All right. So, Tasha, it's an exciting time. One of the biggest moments of the sports calendar is upon us. March Madness is in full swing with the round of 32 tipping off here in just a couple of hours. We will get you ready for those games. But you know, the more things change, the more they seem to stay the same when it comes to March Madness. The curse of the 12 seed reared its ugly head once again. You had 12 seed McNeese knock off 5th seeded Clemson in a game where, I mean, they almost gave that game away, but they held on to win. You also had yesterday Colorado State ride a 10-game win streak, knock off 5th seed Memphis like, damn, Penny Hardaway. I thought this was the year that y'all was going to make some noise. Also, Tasha, coming into the tournament, and you've alluded to this a couple of times on your stops on other podcasts, the SEC has garnered a lot of attention for getting a record 14 teams in the NCAA tournament this year. But the Big Ten is quietly 8-0 through the opening round, which is the best record for any conference in the history of the first round. Somewhere, Michigan Michael Hasso is smiling there. So, with that, I mean, actually, those two conferences will collide later on. So let's start with that, Tasha. We have the 4th seed SEC Texas A&M Aggies taking on the 5th seed University of Michigan. But hey, put that a little closer in the camera there, T Sizzle. There it is. You see it. M is for money. M is for Michigan. M is for March. M is for Madness. Tasha T Sizzle, who you liking in this one? Do we get it done today?
Yes. I put it in my bracket. So it's going to go down.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. And good morning, Shamika Nicole. Got Black Girl Magic popping up in the comments this morning. Love to see it. Tasha, how's your bracket looking? Is your bracket busted?
Let me pull it up. It's looking like it. Hold on. I don't know if you can still see me. Hold on. Let me see what I got going on.
Okay. Shamika with the bilingual. All right. Parlez-vous.
Oh, what parlez-vous français? Oh,
all right. Buenos dias.
Como se va?
And Carlos Diaz to you too, Shamika. Carlos Diaz to you.
Out of a possible maximum of 1730 points, I have 230. What I did this year, I said I'm going to pick big for upsets because there's always some sort of upset going on.
That's true.
But my upsets didn't pan out this year.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because as an aside, one of the beautiful things of March Madness are the upsets and are the Cinderella stories. But one thing I hate about that is when we get to the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight, I don't want to see VCU versus University of North Carolina Wilmington.
Exactly.
I want to see the big boys play. So I am okay with that. She says, I do not speak French, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, but you got French manicures.
Got the French tips on, girl.
Right. You're looking spectacular as always. So you got Michigan. I got Michigan. Tasha, who's in your Final Four?
In my Final Four, I have Houston, Arizona, Florida, and Auburn.
Okay. Okay. So you're going heavy SEC. I have Houston, Florida, Duke, and I can't remember who my fourth one is. She says I definitely didn't pick Memphis to lose yesterday. Speaking of that, Shamika, I watched that game, and Dane Danger, the big man from Memphis, was destroying Colorado State in the first half. They totally went away from him in the second half. PJ Haggerty, the All-American player, had a rough outing, and Penny Hardaway, after making the tournament for the first time in years, bounced in the first round. Very, very upset for him on that. So you got Michigan advancing past Texas A&M. I will as well. That's 4:15 p.m. Central Time on CBS. Don't need no cable. Don't need no nothing. Get your rabbit ears out and watch and watch the University of Michigan do what they do. Now, Tasha, I don't know how much basketball of Michigan you've watched this year, but the game on Thursday, which was a really late tip for you, so I wouldn't hold it against you or begrudge you if you did not watch that game. But that game was a microcosm of their entire season. You have 2 7-footers, Area 51. University of California, San Diego had no starter over 6'6", and they pretty much hung with you on the boards. I mean, you didn't have a real rebounding edge. You had 14 turnovers for 15 points. You blew a 15-point second half lead. Tasha, the turnovers scare me, but I think we get it done. And one other thing, y'all see this shirt here, right? Tasha, I think you'll be able to appreciate this. In 2018, all right, so you know where I'm going. In 2018, Michigan and Texas A&M met in the Sweet 16. Michigan put hands on their ass. I'm talking about Bip. Right. Washed our hands clean of them. We went on to the Final Four, which was in San Antonio, Texas. Where's this year's Final Four? Tasha T. Sizzle.
I don't know. Where is it?
San Antonio, Texas. Looks like we might be running this thing.
You gassing up the Peso Cole and going to Detroit?
Cole gassed up the Peso. We head to Chicago.
That's right. We head to Chicago.
Good morning, AP Coulter. Jody, your ears must have been ringing. We were just talking about you, sir. Good morning, Mr. Coleman. Make sure y'all follow Against the Grain Sports Podcast. This guy right here is on fire. The crew, Ray, Soul on Sports, Tasha T. Sizzle was on last night. I really enjoy it. We do want to know, Jody, and you could tell us off wax, how do you do so many shows in a week? Like, what's your secret? How do you do it? Like, can I work for you? I love it. Your time management skills are impeccable. And thank you for joining. Make sure you all check them out. They have news that you can use every single day of the week, a great sports show. Make sure you all like and follow. So we got Michigan going now. Tasha, here's one that me and you can sink our teeth into. Coach Calipari and Coach Pitino renewed their heated rivalry this afternoon when Arkansas takes on St. John's. Now, we know they both have Kentucky ties. They really don't get along. They've had smoke for years. Tasha, who do you like in this matchup?
It's just difficult because, like I was saying last night on Against the Grain, usually it comes down to coaching. Oh, this coach, they can outcoach this coach. But these two are basically even. And that's the way I see it. I am going to have to give the nod to Coach Pitino because I think St. John's has the better team, but I was very, very impressed with what Arkansas did on Thursday. Like, I wasn't expecting that style of play. What Calipari has done is come in and he's changed it. Because, we really hadn't been this excited about Arkansas basketball. Well, I know us growing up in the 90s.
No, you can say we because I agree with where you're going.
They almost kind of look 40 minutes of hellish.
Nolan Richardson should be proud of the way that this team has rebounded after an 0-5 start in the SEC. They actually beat Michigan earlier in the non-conference on a 4-point play when Michigan was up 3 with under 5 seconds to go. Like, part of me wants them to lose because of that. But I do love Coach Cal. No, Tasha said something. I don't want to go over people's heads because she was spot on, and I have numbers to back that up. She says they're pretty evenly matched as coaches. In 23 head-to-head matches, Calipari owns a 13-10 advantage over Pitino. So they are right there. So let me ask you this, Tasha, as we say good morning to Soul on Sports. $1 million purse. You can only have one coach to coach your basketball game. Are you taking Calipari or Pitino?
I'm gonna take Pitino because he's slicker than a greased up pig. All this stuff he beat when he was man, come on. The restaurant, the special occasion girls in the dorm named after his brother.
The white suits.
The white suits looking like Colonel Sanders.
Suit, Tasha. So who Colonel Sanders?
I think that's that Italian in him. But he was out there looking like Colonel Sanders. But I mean, again, and another thing, a lot of people don't know this. Sasha got accepted into St. John's when she was getting ready to go to college. So, I mean, and that was actually her first acceptance letter was from St. John's. So I think I'm going to root. What is their name now?
Weren't they the Red Storm? Jody, I know you know. Somebody tell us. I believe it's St. John Red Storm. I think that's what it is.
Since you can't say Orangemen and Redmen anymore.
Right. You're still the Redskins. I'm gonna say it. It's an Indian on him. All right. I'm gonna digress there. St. John's is the better team, and Vegas agrees. They're a pretty big favorite today, but their offense, Tasha, like.
Let me pull up my bracket. Keep talking. Can you
see? They look 2000 Baltimore Raven-ish, where they clamp you down, but offensively they're challenged. If Calipari and his team can make buckets early in the game and make this an up and down game, I think Arkansas has a chance. I have St. John's advancing in the bracket. Yes, Red Storm. Thank you, Jody, and good morning, Martrice Hastings. Beautiful as you are. Okay, all right. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and roll with St. John's on that, but I would not be surprised if Calipari has another trick up his sleeve. He just knocked out Bill Self on Thursday in Kansas. So,
but I wasn't high on Kansas, so that wasn't a hard pick for me because I didn't like the way they looked against Arizona. I think they got lucky in that last game of the season against Arizona. It was just pretty much luck, and they were playing, at Kansas. It was a little bit more friendly. I wasn't impressed, so I don't really see that as an upset by Arkansas beating Kansas. I just kind of like what Arkansas is doing.
Now, see, Farrah checks in. Good morning, host of Our Take says, take that 2018 shirt off. I see Clorox spot. Hey, we clean our shirts here in the South. You from the South. We clean our shirts. So I got
not
this
Clorox spot, Farrah.
I got this at the Final Four when Michigan knocked off Sweet Mother Magdalene, the old lady from what was that Chicago team where they had the old lady?
Oh yeah, that little lady. Yeah.
We beat her ass and pushed her right on down that aisle. We pushed her right on out in the street.
No, you're not gonna be talking about that little. What is that lady's name? I can't even think of that lady's name. Is she still alive?
Kansas shouldn't have been in the tournament. Now, I was trying to say that about North Carolina, but I was driving when y'all were talking about Hubert Davis last night. 1-12 in quad one. No, that's not gonna get it done. That's not. That won't get it done. Although I did thoroughly enjoy you all's back and forth about NIL and teams still being on the top and how I agree with both of you. I agree with Jody when he said that the big dogs are still the big dogs, Michigan, Ohio State, and even in basketball with UConn. But I agree with Tasha with that depth. People aren't sitting for 4 years playing behind no 5 stars no more. They're going to go and get their bag elsewhere. Great conversation as I digress. Now, we're Tennesseans, although Tasha rarely claims it. I think
because I'm not I don't understand, Paul.
You understand it.
31 years. Mm-hmm. You know good and damn well I'm not from Tennessee.
Tasha, where did I meet you?
Tennessee.
Okay, all right. You could have said it like Arrested Development if you wanted to, but I met you in Tennessee. Our lifelong friendship was forged on the great state of Tennessee. We ate oranges together. We cussed together for the first time. We went to the prom together. We watched each other go through the highs and lows and vicissitudes.
We played in the NSL together.
Yeah, will you tell the people what the NSL is while we digress for a second?
Yo, we we used to play spades, and the NSL was the National Spades League. We used to play this in high school.
No, it was called the Negro Spade League.
Okay. I didn't want. Okay, it was
Right.
the Negro Spade League. So everybody in the school, you had to have a partner. And Paul and I's name was Tell Me and Something Good.
And we used to whoop that ass after school over there by the gym. Right. Running Boston's like a marathon. Mama call him Clay, right? Martrice. All right. Now, speaking of Tennessee, we have a dichotomy of two programs, Tasha T. Sizzle. You have 7-seed UCLA that's been to 1,000 Final Fours, and the University of Tennessee looking to get to their first Final Four in program history this year. Does Tennessee take a step towards that today against UCLA?
Yes. I just think Tennessee is a better team.
Yeah.
When they lost, what's the guy that's
Dalton Knecht.
When they lost Dalton Knecht, I was like, what are they? He was their star player.
Right.
But they got some talent on that team. Rick Barnes is doing one hell of a job in Old Rocky Top. And it's like you think of Tennessee, you always think about football because basketball is here and there, and it's always the Lady Vols.
Right.
But within these last, 10, 15 years, Tennessee's the men's basketball team has been doing something. And I like the way they're looking. Now, I don't know if this, like I said, this is the new thing, but the SEC having all these teams,
right?
Some of them probably didn't need to be there. But this transfer portal, and that NIL is, like I said, it's dispersing the talent.
It is. And I think that's ultimately good for especially college basketball, because with 68 teams, you have 68 fan bases that can be fully engaged. And like you said, to open the show, upsets are where it's at. So your team, you could be a 13 seed and make your whole program off of a huge win against a blue blood. Jody says, yet no West Coast team has won a national championship since 1997 Arizona Caucus. Remember him holding the ball at the end of that game, smiling? Like, I remember that. Good stuff. West Coast drought is going to continue. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Now, Jody, this is we on the morning circuit. We on the morning circuit. My mom and them.
Okay, I'm
watching.
I ain't gonna say what I was gonna say then.
No, go ahead.
Is it sloppy or is it neat? You told me to say it.
Let's keep that neat, ladies. Let's keep that neat. Let me digress. And we're off and running, ladies and gentlemen.
I said one cuss word this morning. So
you have not. You've done well, and that was me that said Negro. So, like Tasha, you've been doing your thing. Although I do like to watch T Sizzle After Dark because it's more of the conversations that we have in real time than the politically correct thing that she kind of molds herself into for this Saturday morning show. It's like watching Eddie Murphy Raw unfiltered. It's a lot funnier when you get the full. I digress. So, he said, hit the button. Right, hit the button. All right, now, Tasha, we have UConn and Florida meeting tomorrow afternoon. Tasha, help me out with this. I want to talk something through with me. UConn last night tied an NCAA record with their 13th straight tournament win. They're back-to-back champions. They're looking for an unprecedented three-peat. First question is, do they break the record? Do you think they can unseat the number one seed Florida Gators tomorrow?
They can, but I don't think they will. UConn is one of those programs that has, even though we don't consider UConn a blue blood,
right?
UConn has always been in there. Right. If you really go back and look,
hey, Kimball Walker, anyone?
Right, they have been relevant since the 90s. When it comes to, they've won championships. You had, with Rip Hamilton and what's his name? I'm doing the Mateen Cleaves. What was the guy's name? I can't even think his name. But from the 90s, you got Ray Allen. You got all of those good players that came up out of UConn. UConn has been a relevant team, but I don't think they get the same shine.
Now, Jody, I know you haven't watched our show long, but I'm always on record as saying that Tasha will say something that she has no clue that's in the rundown because I actually write it right before the show as far as my notes. And she actually walked me down the road I wanted to go with. Tasha, has UConn's program been disrespected the last few years for what they've been able to do?
I think so. Because, like I said, they act like UConn has not won championships.
Right.
Yeah, they may not be, we're going to win it. We won it 3 out of the last 7 years type deal. But UConn is a very relevant program that has put ballers in the league. And when they got to the league, they were still relevant players.
Right. I totally agree because let's just keep it real. If this was North Carolina going for number 14, if this was Duke, if this was pick an SEC program, if this was Purdue, if this was Michigan, Michigan State, UCLA, it would be a lot more fanfare around what they're doing. I mean, 13 straight tournament wins, and I believe the last 2 years they were all by double digits. Now, I didn't see the final score of them against Oklahoma last night, but I mean, come on, man, that's a pretty tough feat, and I think
they won 6 national championships,
but they still play second fiddle to Geno.
And I again, that goes to that the conference realignment, the way they doing things now.
Right.
I don't like how it is. Like, I know things have to change, and they say things change and make things better. I just remember the old Big East.
Right.
And we used to break our necks on Saturdays and, see who's going to be the Big East beast. When Georgetown was relevant. Like, you remember we used to rock the Georgetown. Didn't even go to Georgetown.
Remember the Nikes? The Hoya Nikes? The
Hoya Nikes. Like, Georgetown was the thing. Yeah. But I digress. When you have St. John's is really being pushed forward because of Pitino. Their play is good, but if another coach was coaching this, I don't think that it would be shoved down our face. And plus, I watch the New York news, and that's all they talk about is St. John's. And it is because of Rick Pitino.
It is because of Rick Pitino. And let's not forget that New York has prided itself on its basketball tradition with Rucker Park, with that whole style and that genre of basketball play, that they're proud to have a New York team, an East Coast team back in it. I do agree with you as far as the Big East. The traditional Big East was where it's at. But that's now Jody's calling for a 67-59 win. So he's saying that Dan Hurley and them going to put the clamps on Florida. If this happens, my bracket is done because I have Florida winning it all.
Me too.
I am. Oh, okay. So we are rooting against that, Jody Coleman. Now, Jerome says this year has been a struggle for UConn. That's why they're not talked about much. But what about the last 2 years? Like,
because who expected them to? First of all, I don't like what UConn did to the brother man, but I digress. They're not consistent enough with their play. But basketball is that one sport where you don't have to be consistent throughout the season if you make it into the tournament and get hot.
Oh, okay, right. And Jody said that was last night against. Okay, so a comfortable win, albeit not a double-digit win. Yeah, it's just something about UConn to me that's bland. As far as they just kind of workmanlike go about their business. The Big East, to your point, has been down with Georgetown being down and Syracuse in the ACC. It's just a weird vibe. But I think that will change if they knock off Florida, who I think a lot of people have favored to win it all. Now, speaking of UConn, the women's tournament is underway as well. And while we won't do a breakdown of the women's bracket, I think it's fair to ask the question to you, Tasha T. Sizzle. The two major stars of this tournament and of women's basketball are Juju Smith from USC and Paige Buckets from UConn.
Not Paige Buckets.
I call it Paige Buckets. Do you think that those two ladies can carry the torch and kind of keep the steam going that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese was able to garner the last 2 years?
I'm going to say no, simply because, it's the elephant in the room. The Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark thing, we know was fueled by a lot of racism and prejudices. So what moves the needle? Controversy.
Yeah.
As good as Juju is playing, as good as Paige is playing, their talent is not going to move the needle the same way the controversy did between Angel and Caitlin.
Right.
You can't compare those two.
And I think that if you shy away from that angle of this conversation, then you're being naive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look deep within yourself, there are two factors at play. One, there's the great white hype, which going back to Larry Bird in the 80s is something that sports has always needed, especially in a predominantly black sport. If you want to get viewership, you need to have a great white player. That's just how it goes. The NFL has been able to do that at the quarterback position, so they've remained king. But in basketball, you see the Lucas, you see Larry Bird and others. You see that in college basketball with Cooper Flagg now, Caitlin Clark to a large extent. And you also need a villain. And I think Angel Reese provided that for a lot of the fan base. And a lot of the stuff that was rooted in that was the two sides pitting the girls against each other. It was great for ratings. It was great for fodder. But as great as these women are from a talent standpoint, I agree. Like, the NCAA and the networks are trying to push these two ladies. Their games are back to back on ABC. You watching that shit? Sorry, Farrah.
I mean, and it's almost like you want, because I've watched Juju play. Right. I've watched Paige play. I've watched, of course, South Carolina play. I mean, to be honest, I'm rooting for Coach Staley anyway. No matter how good they, Juju and Paige are playing, their play is not moving the needle. Just like
move the needle. Can the Gamecocks make another run and possibly garner attention with
I think
dynasty mode?
I mean, I think they can. Did y'all see Plies gave Dawn Staley that blinged out trophy necklace?
Dawn got dudes in her DM. You can always come home, Dawn. You can always come home. Like, I'm just saying,
all I got to say, when she played at Virginia, she was the Flies. And how do you play like that and not one strand of hair be out of place?
Where's Ray with the gavel? Somebody
Jody.
Somebody get Ray.
And I said that, why would they named it? I mean, I guess they not thinking, but then you got that dude named Grady Dick too. Like, I would say my name was Dickerson.
I think we are Dawn Fatigue. No, wow.
No, we ain't never Dawn Fatigue. I'm not.
And she's from the Carolinas, and she says that. Nope, TT is going to get you for that, Farrah.
There would never be any Dawn Fatigue, just like there was not any Pat Summitt Fatigue. I just don't like Gino Auriemma, so that's why I had Gino Fatigue, because I didn't like him.
Right, and he was giving Pat that work for a while after she made it.
There was no Tara Vanderveer hate when she used to coach. What did Tara Vanderveer coach for? She went to Stanford. Like, I love to watch Tara Vanderveer coach.
Plaza and Dawn are a treasured combo. I do agree. And she's great for social media. Now, good morning, Langston, and welcome back to the fold. FD Law. Good morning. See, I was saying this last week on the show, Langston. I'm Team Micah on this. DeMarcus Lawrence, and we're going to digress for just a second because we're about to transition into some football. But DeMarcus Lawrence, no double-digit sacks in the last 6 years. You saying that you can't win a championship in Dallas, but you go to Seattle. Michael Parsons has been lapping you as far as. Let me digress. Good morning, Tevis.
Hey, Tevis.
Now, he says, I love Angel Reese, but I think she shoots layups blindfolded. Hey, she smoked layups like a black and mild. She does. And one of my dear friends who will remain nameless told me that Angel Reese is nothing more than an influencer who will be out of the WNBA in 5 years. Tasha, do you agree with that?
Even when she was at LSU, I would watch her play, and I was like, is she trying to play or is she just out here trying to look cute? She didn't seem to. I mean, don't get me wrong, she was effective, but it was like she wasn't driving like I thought she should be.
Really, Tasha? Really?
No, I'm punching it in. Like, I just didn't. I mean, and I know she's soft. She's very feminine. And I think her femininity and her softness is coming out in her style of play, where it's not as aggressive as maybe it should be, or it could be.
I never considered that, but that is an excellent point. If you're a diehard WNBA player, you're used to a specific brand of basketball, and it's not manicure and pedicure. Just to just keep that real. She will make more money now. Now wait a minute. Martrice says agreed. Wow. So we turning on Angel, huh? That's where we at with Angel.
It's not that anybody's turning on her. It's just she plays soft. Like Asia Wilson is very feminine, but Asia gonna give you a face. She gonna do something. She gonna get in there on your ass.
Not as feminine though. Like her walk-ins aren't designer bags and open-toed shoes when she's, you know.
I mean, but you saw Angel walking in and she was tipping. Like, baby, you may need to put on a more comfortable shoe
with the toes doing this,
right? And come up out them strappy sandals and them two little skirts trying to show off your beautiful legs. I get that, but
she shot 18% from three in the WNBA. By the way, I know she's a big, but can we at least say this? Angel Reese was a 3-time state champion in high school in Maryland. She's a national champion at LSU. I mean, the Chicago Sky, I think they cratered at the end of the season. And I do think, as much as I love Angel Reese, I do think that she bowed out gracefully when she saw that Caitlin Clark pulled away in the Rookie of the Year race. I think she bowed out with that injury so she wouldn't have to sit there and catch that smoke. Although she was an all-rookie first team along with Caitlin. She'll make more money as an influencer.
I mean, she would.
She would, but here's my retort to that. Wait a minute, or more money on a poll that Paul got in his. Tasha, remember the now serving sign I used to have in my old apartment?
Langston, there is no pole in Paul's bedroom. He does have a bevy of appliances to go into his new house.
Yes, there's no pole. There's a mirror. There's a
my favorite chair.
There's a favorite chair, a voyeur chair. You know, if you're into that, if you're into people watching, I don't know. We are going off the rails. Let me get to Jarrell real quick. Angel Reese and Deebo Samuels have the same wardrobe design.
First,
where's Ray?
Hey, he ain't on our team no more. I want to see him wear them hoochie daddy shorts walking into the Commander Stadium.
How can someone that plays so physical dress in ruffles and lace? That is right. Farrah Logo, she started the Brick Barbie thing in the first place. Farrah started this, and I don't understand why. Yeah, and I'm gonna go shopping in your house, Farrah, for my furniture. You ain't gonna miss it. Hell, you got more rooms than the Temple had rooms. So let's get into some football, because last night, Tasha, I sent you the post. I'm sure you had already saw it. That Jameis Winston had inked a 2-year, $8 million deal with the New York Giants. Tasha, hey, take off. What do you think about that?
You know, I love it. I cannot wait for Bessemer, Alabama's finest, to get up there with that New York media. And when he started giving his hints from Heloise and quoting scripture and praying over people, I cannot wait.
Right. I think, and we were talking about this off wax last night, I think he's made for New York media. He is tailor-made. But you had a great caveat. As long as he ain't playing like you know what. Because they will turn on you.
They will turn, and they will cheer for if he gets injured, they're going to cheer for him the same way they cheer for Deshaun.
Right. Good morning, Stephanie Culture. Good morning. Good morning. Speaking of Deshaun, he said, I got a Deshaun Watson edition massage table. Like
not in the new place, Langston. He had a table in the old place.
No, okay, we gonna talk. You know too much. I'm gonna need you to sign an NDA if I die before you. What's going on, Marcus Stone?
It's our season, Stone. It's our season.
Oh God. Aries celebrate for like longer than the Passover. Like I'm gonna digress. Tasha, back to Jameis. No, and happy birthday to y'all. I mean, shouts out. Marcus Stone is the man. Y'all know he's the man. He put the H in hustle. But Tasha, one thing that I thought about when I saw that Jameis signed with the Giants is, so what's the plan at quarterback? Do you think this takes them out of the Shador or Cam Ward sweepstakes, or do you think they should still play it safe and try to move up with Tennessee to get that pick?
I mean, I don't think you would move up. That's too big of a reach for some unproven talent. You know, I think this is because I think the coach needs to be fired. I think the GM needs to be fired. Maybe this is like a bridge. And then they'll say, hey, let's try to look at some next year's talent. Arch Manning, maybe. Let's look at some next year talent, stay relevant. You know, if we lose, we know we can get a higher pick. And if it works out, it works out. But I really think that's too big of a reach for Cam or Shador. What's the kid at Ole Piss that everybody keeps hyping?
Oh, Jackson Dart. And we're going to get into him when we talk about the Steelers. When I saw that the Giants signed Jameis, it kind of let a little air out of my balloon as a Titans fan, because I would really like to trade that pick, because to your point, I think that neither one of those quarterbacks are going to be Jaden Daniels-esque. The more that I watched Cam Ward, the more that I'm more on board with him. But I really don't like him as the number one overall pick. Like, if you're going to have the number one overall pick, I'm like, well, hell, just trade back with the Giants and get Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter or trade back again and pick up some additional pieces, because we're more than a Cam Ward away from being.
That's what I was going to say. So, yeah, because the Titans need more pieces, even though the biggest deficit is at quarterback.
Right.
Cam got an arm.
He does. He has a live arm, and I don't think that you can take Shador at number one overall because of the body of work against quality opponents in college. And y'all know I'm a big Shador fan because I'm a big Deion fan. But against the better competition, he was good, but not phenomenal, not generational.
But this is the way I look at that. That boy, when he was at Colorado, played behind a subpar line. And I think a lot of the times he may have had a little PTSD about getting hit, even though he was get back up, shake it off, still be effective.
Right.
You keep taking that many hits, you're going to kind of cower a little bit too. And he's not the most athletic.
No, he's not.
Cam, I think, would be better fit for the Titans because of the arm and his ability to scramble around back there, because he's going to need to be scrambling too, because the Titans line ain't.
Now, the Titans are trying to address the line. I know they overspent for Dan Smith, the left tackle from from the Pittsburgh Steelers, who gave up 12 sacks at a left tackle last year. Like, how the hell does somebody who give up 12 sacks get an $82 million deal with $50 million guaranteed the first 2 years? I thought that was a reach. They did draft J.C. Latham, who was a traditional right tackle at Alabama. He played left tackle last year out of position. They're going to move him over to the right side. They did pick up some depth pieces because they lost Lloyd Cushenberry to a gruesome injury in November. He may not even be ready for the start of the year. So I think that we'll just have to see. I just feel like it's a total Tennessee Titans thing to do, to have the number one overall pick without a generational talent sitting there at the top of the draft. That could only happen to the Titans. Would Brady be what he is with a subpar line? So it sounds like you're caping.
No.
For Shador. I love Shador. If we take Shador, I'll be fine with that. I would just be leery of taking him number one overall. Like, can we trade back and take him at 3 and let the Giants take Cam Ward? Jarrell says Jackson Dart will get drafted by Dallas at 12, putting more pressure on Dak to perform and stay healthy.
Jackson Dart is look, every year they got to have a great white height, and that's him.
I like Kyle McCord just as much as I like Jackson Dart. I mean, I love what he did. I mean, of course, we put that ass in clamps, the University of Michigan, and got him ran out of town. But I thought he played well at Syracuse. Dallas, don't you even think about taking a quarterback. You made your bed with Dak, pay him the money.
That's the most Dallas-ish to do, though, is to take a quarterback.
I mean, but if you can unload Dak, then fine. But everybody seems to be getting settled in at quarterback. We shall see. What it do, Holmes, Skillet Biscuit? What up, Dre Day, all day, every day? Shouts on to YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe there. So, yeah. So you're looking at Jameis as a bridge quarterback, which brings us to another quarterback that got your juices and berries flowing yesterday. Your boy Aaron Rodgers went to go visit ABOB headquarters. He visited with the Pittsburgh Steelers after weeks of playing coy, playing hard to get. Now, according to Adam Schefter, who was the ESPN insider for the NFL, he said that the talks were positive, but no deal was imminent at the time of the meeting. Tasha, is Pittsburgh making a mistake by going after Aaron Rodgers?
The pettiness in me is a big capital F, yeah, because I don't like him. Everybody knows that. And what I really want, what I think is going to be interesting, we all know how Coach Tomlin does not bite his tongue. He says what he needs to say. Mm-hmm. That dynamic of those two. Is Aaron Rodgers going to do what Coach Tomlin tells him to do? Is he going to follow suit with the way that organization likes to run stuff? Is he going to have his ass in training camp, not over in Egypt?
No.
So that's my thing. I would love to see that because I would love to have a press conference with Coach Keep a Job and he's saying what he needs to say. Now, if I was a diehard Steeler fan, y'all know that's my backup team. I think he is the best option for them to win.
Tasha, I'm proud of you.
Touche.
No, I'm proud of you because when we're in the booth, we got to tell the truth. And the truth of the matter is, when you look around the landscape of the NFL and especially the AFC North, then Aaron Rodgers really does give them their best chance to win. And while I do believe that he's not going to acquiesce to the Steeler way, I put that in quotation marks, as far as falling in line and being one band, one sound, I do think that with two volatile wide receivers in George Pickens and the guy, oh my God, DK Metcalf, to have those two volatile receivers, you're going to need a veteran quarterback that can actually, I don't want to say put them in their place, but keep the offense on track. You need one voice in the offense. And I know Michael Irvin was notorious for getting in people's ear and hollering and screaming, but he wasn't going to move Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman would say STFU and run that slant route like I told you. And if you're not open, I'm going the backside to Alvin Harper.
But that's the thing is petty Lyron Rodgers. Remember, I always say he lost that game.
Yeah.
In that championship when they were supposed to go to the Super Bowl the year the Buccaneers went and Brady got his last ring. He was so effing petty. Instead of him not running that ball in, which he had plenty enough space and time to do, what did he do? He threw the ball away. Talking about it wasn't my play. Now, you know, you are Aaron Rodgers. You can call and you can call an audible. You can do whatever you want to. You did that on purpose. So is it going to be a thing where he gets to Pittsburgh and I'm going to show them I can run everything and he tries to do things the Lyron way?
Shouts out to my big bro, Damian Cole, for checking in.
Your loss, Damie.
No, we're not going to do that today. We're not going to put that energy on that because you all quieted the naysayers on Tuesday when y'all ran somebody out of the gym by 30 points. I was very happy for my brother there. It's March Madness. You want your team in the tournament. They got a tournament win. They did better than Memphis, who I thought was going to make the Sweet 16. But Damian says Rodgers will get beat up for his shenanigans in Pittsburgh. I mean, George Pickens didn't get his money. DK Metcalf is a diva. Cam Hayward has already gone on record saying, I'm not going into no dark. Either you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. So, like,
and I appreciate him for saying that. That brother side in him, that Aaron Hayward came out of him then.
Shouts out to Iron Head. But when you think about the weekly hits on Pat McAfee, the passive-aggressive post-game press conferences, the throwing people under the bus, like Mike Tomlin. Remember when Danny Glover back on Lethal Weapon, when it got up to 2, 3, and 4, when he would say, I'm too old for this shit. Mike Tomlin might be like, I'm getting too old for this shit.
But that's the thing. Going back to Jody's point, you know how big DK Metcalf is.
Yeah.
You know how I think Ticky Boom Pickens is. They're going to drop them Fifth Ward Bs on his ass in that locker room. Like Jody said, WWE style. if he come in there with them shenanigans. I just think it will happen.
I think Aaron Rodgers is locker room proof as far as acquiescing. I don't see it happening. He is by far, at least in his own mind, the best player on that team walking into the door, regardless of TJ Watt, regardless of Minka Fitzpatrick, regardless of DK Metcalf. And to Jody's point, who will be the running back?
Because they got rid of Najee, which I'm glad. Najee may do good this season because look who his new coach is.
Yeah. Hey, he's out there with old running down your throat out there on the West Coast. Now, one thing about Jim Harbaugh, you saw what he did for J.K. Dobbins. There's a total renaissance with his career. Good morning, Miss Hastings. Danny Glover was only 42. Like that guy who ran and blew out his hamstring on that video.
Mr. M-I-S-T-E-R. Mr. Ain't no pause, Jody. I was gonna let it slide. I knew Jody was gonna say something when you said ram it down.
Oh, snap. I didn't even catch that. Gavel? No, I'm gonna let Ray have his gavel thing. That is uniquely his, and that was lotion, by the way. No.
Why
ads.
You got lotion at your desk? Near your computer. Miss Hastings, I just said good morning to Miss Hastings, and that's where we're gonna go with that. I'm sorry, Sheila.
I prefer a horizontal experience as we digress. Tasha, why
do I log out?
Why can't the Steelers find a quarterback?
I don't know. I don't know. They've had Terry Bradshaw. They've had Big Ben. That organization is too well run and too established to not be a hotbed for quarterbacks to say, I want to go here.
Right. Farrell said easy access. What is going on today? The first day of spring, the sun is burning our brains today.
It's Aries season, that angry red planet, baby.
I said good morning to my beautiful mother, AP Coulter, and my beautiful sister, Stephanie Coulter, on this very show. They are watching as you all paint me out. I mean, I am a man.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Mom Coulter.
I mean, man can't live off bread alone, but I digress. Tasha, I'm really here's my thing. You call him coach to keep a job, okay? If your coach keep a job with a lifetime contract where the only contingency is to win 9 games, why not just, to Jarrell's point, instead of the Cowboys taking Jackson Dart, why not just take Jackson Dart and hit the reset button with a rookie quarterback? Why go for Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, they tried that with Kenny Pickett and they moved him out the next damn year.
No, this is the Goon Squad. Y'all, this is not me. Right, we rated E for everyone. How about that? Plus, they always keep receivers and a stout defense.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. Why is Pittsburgh not a desirable place for quarterbacks? Like, if I had, like I said, an organization who you knew was going to stand behind you, who you knew was going to pay your money. Remember when Hines Ward, he didn't hold out. He did everything he was supposed to do, and he got paid for that. You don't have a lot of players in Pittsburgh saying, well, I'm going to hold out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Right. Why is it not a hotbed for quarterbacks to want to go there?
Like Pittsburgh never have a bad enough record to draft a franchise quarterback.
Jody, you don't. I said this, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. Sometimes you just need a good quarterback. You don't always need a franchise quarterback. They just need a good quarterback because they have everything else.
Right. To your point, Tasha, and I agree with you 1,000%. If you got a strong defense, if you can get after the quarterback, if you could just play with a lead, TJ Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick and the boys will take care of the rest. I do think that just the style of play that they have, they usually have success at the running back position. I think they can find a running back in this draft and plug and play. I mean,
they got to strengthen up that line too. Their line and quarterback play is the Achilles heel of that team. Right.
Kenny Pickett was there 2 years. Remember Mitch Trubisky? I just don't get it. And Aaron Rodgers is going to be a 1-year rental. And to Jody's point, which I do agree with, Aaron Rodgers is not going to have you 5 and 12. You're not going to be at the top of the Arch Manning sweepstakes. You'll have to give up your whole roster to move up to get into the top 5 if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, because coach keep a job. He does maximize what he doesn't get at the quarterback position. Now, Russell Wilson still isn't signed. Doesn't look like, I mean, if they were going to re-sign him, I thought they would have done that by now. Would you rather have Wilson than Rodgers?
The only reason why I would take Russell is because Russell goes along with the plan, and he does have some sort of familiarity with DK Metcalf. They did win Super Bowl together, but he is so turnover prone, and the Steelers cannot afford to do that. And I think I told you and Mike this. It was a few years ago. I said it's like they are the NFL version of Michigan, when Michigan always depended on defense to bail them out when the offense was shitty.
Yeah, the first 7 years of Harbaugh, 2015 to 2022, before J.J. McCarthy arrived on campus.
So again, if they want to win, be relevant again, Lyron is the pick.
Yeah.
Because like I said, he's proven to have been a franchise quarterback. He's on the end of his career. That injury is going to play a big part in it still, I believe. But he's still a good quarterback, and that's all they need is a good quarterback.
Right, just somebody who's turnover adverse, somebody who keep the chains moving, and somebody who can still get the ball deep. And I think he can do that. I think that's their best play for this year, because at this point, it's a year-to-year thing. You got to win a playoff game, Mike Tomlin. I'm done with the we didn't have a losing record stuff.
Now, they said this, I was watching the pivot or a clip of it, and they was like, Ryan Clark, of course, he's a homer because he's a Mike T guy. He was like, he's an unfireable coach, but that don't mean that they can't move him. If that
what does that mean? What do you like
he's the type of coach that he's going to produce. He's going to get you. He's going to keep you talking. Like, is
that producing those 9 wins a year?
Like, he's a good guy. You don't want to fire a coach like that who doesn't cause any drama. But when they're not winning, you got to do something. You got to shake it up. And I'm all for ABOB.
Right.
But I mean,
a perfect example, since we're sticking with the Michigan theme, was Lloyd Carr. He wins the national championship in 1997, and then he was just okay for the next 10 years after that, and they had to make a move. Now, they chose the wrong way to go with Rich Rodriguez and Brady Hoke, which set them back. But without going through those, they never get to Harbaugh and never get that championship again. You can't just hold steady at 8-9 wins a year if you're at Michigan, and I don't think you can do 9 wins as Pittsburgh Steelers. You
can't, especially when people are building teams, super teams to win now.
Super teams to win now. And now Langston made a good point. This is the second part of it. He says, though, a lot of Pittsburgh fans said the Big Ben was just serviceable. He was okay, not great, but he had pieces around him, the killer bees. I mean, you got Brown and Le'Veon Bell and Juju. You're going to be all right, and a great defense. The real problem in Pittsburgh is the vanilla offensive coordinator. Arthur Smith.
Vanilla, baby.
Hey, look, Arthur Smith got busy for us when we had A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry at the peak of their powers, and Ryan Tannehill wasn't turning the ball over. I think he did great. That's what got him his head.
They put all the blame on Matt Canada. And so
right. Oh, Matt Canada caught hella bullets.
Oh, hell.
Yeah.
But again, offensive line and QB is what they need.
Yeah, Sierra ready to leave Pennsylvania. Who wants to live there? Well, come on to Nashville. Be our bridge quarterback so we can trade out and get Abdul Carter and a 3rd-round pick and next year's 1st-round pick, because to Tasha's point, and she's absolutely correct, although she loves to troll my Titans, she is correct in the fact that they're more than a quarterback away. We're not Pittsburgh, where you can just plug in some decent quarterback play and keep it moving.
Speaking of Russ, all the quarterback positions are being sucked up.
Yeah.
Where's he gonna go? Where's Russ gonna go?
If Pittsburgh don't want you back, and the Giants signed Jameis, and the Titans, I
haven't even heard his name mentioned with the Titans.
No, and no, because I think everything that I'm hearing out of the people who cover the Titans is that they're all in on Cam Ward. Now, that could be a ploy to try to raise his value to get somebody to trade up, but the Giants just said, "Nah, I'm good with Jameis," because I could roll with Jameis for a year and then get ready for next year.
So do you think the Giants are going to keep that pick, or do you think they're going to trade it to get more draft picks? What do you
I would trade that. If I got Jameis, if I'm going to settle in with Jameis and then I can just get a young development quarterback in the second or third round, a Kyle McCord or somebody like that behind that, then I would do that, trade back, maybe let the Raiders move up if they want to try to get their hands on Shador or somebody of that nature. Then again, if you pair Travis Hunter with Malik Neighbors, Jameis Winston might have some motion. He might have some motion. And I totally agree. Phil Fulmer was the same way. Wait, don't the Steelers have 6 championships?
Yeah.
Don't get Langston started.
They got the one for the thumb. That's what they were saying.
Right. He became content with the Citrus Bowl. So did Lloyd Carr to a certain extent. Remember when Steve Spurrier famously said you can't spell citrus without UT.
Without UT, he sure did.
There's a Pittsburgh fan checking in.
And
they need a line and a QB.
That's what that's my baby daddy, y'all. That's what I said, Demond. They need a line.
Quit calling him that. I'm sorry. I gotta no.
He is.
She's not a baby anymore. He's the child's father. We're not doing that to the brother. He was
a good father, y'all. A good father.
See, right. Savannah, I don't even know what that means. I just see people say that a lot. I knew you was going to catch that, Jody, so we're going to roll up right on along. Russell going to be Sierra's road manager. Hey, she ain't been doing too bad since she hooked up with old Russ.
I heard a story, and they said the way Russell dotes over her, you can tell that ain't nothing but true love, because we all remember what he came from. I said Sierra and Normani got that flip them back ability, and it's magical.
I love seeing them out. I mean, we get inundated with celebrity gossip that's negative. I'd love to see Russell Wilson and Sierra. They just seem like two genuinely good people. We don't see what's going on behind the scenes.
Right. But we all know Sierra is hood because her middle name is Princess. But sometimes when you go over to that spiritual realm and God put that right person in your life, hey, things are different.
Right.
Leave Future alone, which I thought was the Future anyway. And y'all know I love Future, but he toxic. But she's happy, she's glowing. Russ is happy. The children are beautiful. The children are thriving.
Right. She just came off of a U.S. tour with Missy Elliott that was quite successful. Russ is still getting contracts in the NFL. I'm rooting for them. Like all jokes aside. Now, Marcus put the great period on this conversation.
Empire.
He says Pittsburgh like holding on to relics, but you're really talking about Mike Tomlin. I'm gonna just leave that there.
Where's TT? Where's TT?
That good mac and cheese.
If you know, you know. That's what I'm talking about, Jarrell. Her and Normani got that good mac, creamy. Makes that sticky sound. Yeah.
Now, see, Marcus, don't play into this because, hey, do y'all remember? And then we're gonna get out of this segment because I told y'all my mama watching. Y'all got my mama.
Jody, she got them cookies I made last night.
Hey, remember when Russ had the phone on his honeymoon? Because and he put the phone up and Sierra came out from under that sheet. I saw in his eyes. I was like, "Oh, you'll never be the same." You when you know.
After he saw her humping on that car in that old video, he said, "Wait a minute."
Russ said, "Put your mama on the phone."
Look it, I ain't never coming home no more. Take it easy. He told him, "Take it easy."
He told me I'm gonna holler at you.
Oh, my abs, got you.
I'm gonna holler at you. And with all jokes aside, I genuinely wish for anybody that's watching this for you to get your Russell Wilson or your Sierra. We only get one shot at this. I want you to be as happy as you possibly can while you're here because these days are flying by. I want y'all all to be Russ and Sierra. I really do, and I mean that sincerely. That's how you got here, PL. I told you y'all. No, that was you, Marcus. You threw that in there. Tasha been spending the night over other people's houses, and they letting her watch cable. We had her watching Sesame Street. Now she coming back watching BET Uncut. You know what I'm saying? But I love it. All right.
Thanks.
Tasha, real quick before we get into your top 5, I wanted to go over this week. The Bengals, who are notoriously cheap, the notorious CHEAP themselves, They signed their starting receivers. Jamar Chase got his bag. But T. Higgins looks like he got left holding the bag. Tasha, Goon Squad, give me a second to kind of go over this contract because it's a little convoluted. But I want to get your thoughts on if this is the worst contract in the NFL right now. So T. Higgins signed a deal. It's basically like a 2-year deal. I'm putting air quotes for those who are just listening and riding. 2-year deal. It was $20 million at signing that he got 5 days after signing the deal, but only $10 million of it was fully guaranteed. So let's keep the math there. He can make $35.9 million this year, Tasha, but that's contingent on if he plays in every game. If he dresses for every game, he gets like $2 million a week for roster bonus. Next year, he has a $10 million guaranteed deal in 2026 that's not really guaranteed because they have offset language to where they can cut him prior to that and not owe him the money.
What?
Oh, and by the way, Tasha, this is the most important part. The contract is not guaranteed against injury. Tasha, the not guaranteed against injury is the one thing that you should have held firm on because the last 2 years, you've only played in 12 games each of those last 2 years. You haven't played in a full season in 4 or 5 years. Tasha, who is most at fault for this? Is it the Bengals organization for that death row records like contract? Is it the agent for folding like a chair? Or is it T. Higgins for green lighting all of this? What are your thoughts?
Wait a minute, you're making me itch. A couple of things here. If I was T. Higgins, his representation, his accountant, his attorney, his agent, I would be on the phone with Lords of London, taking out a $100 million insurance policy.
Jake Butt on line 1.
There you go. Number 2, if you just wanted to stay a Bengal, you should have just told him, I want to stay a Bengal. Because this makes no sense. Basically, he's going to be getting paid for play.
Yes. Like peak load. Remember peak load back in Nashville, the day labor job?
The fuck? I mean, what?
No, it's like a day labor job. You go in there, they give you an assignment for the day, and when you're done with the assignment, they cash you out.
Oh.
Like, you don't show up, you don't get paid. There's no PTO or anything like that.
Oh, wow. So basically, that's what he's doing. He's getting paid for his play. And thirdly, I know Cleveland is like, damn, that's all it took. Myles Garrett, if you just wanted to stay with us, you should have just told we could have saved 40 mil.
God.
That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So if they cut you after this season, you get nada.
Nothing. And here's the kicker. The team's training staff works for the ownership. You tweak your hamstring, how many games you gonna sit? Because if I'm the Browns, I'm calling down like, hey, look, he's got a sore hamstring. Ice him for the next month.
No, you know what I'm doing?
$10 million.
You know what I'm gonna do when I had that sore hamstring? Go out there like Willis Reed, coming out that tunnel in Madison Square Garden. I'm gonna run a couple of routes. Then I'm gonna say, pull me out.
Right.
I'm gonna suit up and I'm gonna run on that field.
Jody used the term WWE in the locker room when he was talking about the Steelers. This is going to be the WWE because there could be foolishness that goes on. And I would avoid him, T. Higgins, at all costs when it comes to fantasy football because to Tasha's point, they said you just have to be dressed. So I will dress. I will get out there and run a smoke route. Come get me, coach. Come get me. I'll practice on Friday. I'll do the Saturday walkthrough and do it again the next week until I'm healthy enough to play. But I mean, but that's not his call. If they decide to inactivate you that week, you're just inactive. That's right. That's T. Higgins is at fault for signing this new slave labor football style. Like that is in this is crazy. Jarrell said, "Where's the invisible ink pen when you need it?" This ultimately falls on T. Higgins.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like if you wanted to just stay in Cincinnati, just tell them, okay, just pay me less of money without all these stupid, stipulations, and I have to do this, I have to do that. Take a lower amount, and then it goes to show you. Now, I understand Joe Burrow said, we got to get my guy in here. We got to do this. Joe Burrow, you really ain't looking out for me either. If you gave up a little bit of money to help me stay here. But at the end of the day, you really didn't give up no money because I'm not getting anything.
Jamar Chase didn't give up any money. He got more than Garrett.
And then I thought about this too. This is before people were saying this, and I was joking. And literally 3 days later, I saw a meme about it. Y'all ain't paid nobody's defense. Y'all gonna have to score 60 points a game.
They scored 35 points twice against Baltimore and lost both those games.
Exactly. So y'all have no defense. You got Henderson just out there roaming around, look like a nomad looking for a home.
Is Henderson signing a deal like this?
No,
absolutely not.
Get your paper, my white brother, my Aryan brother.
Absolutely. Now, see, Langston, this is what I'm talking about. Where's Lamar Jackson, mama? Why everybody has smoke for him?
Right. You saw what he did. He said, "I'm sick," until he got his money.
They tried to be slick with Lamar, talking about going out there on the open market, see if your mama can go broker a deal. Did they pay him? Did they get rewarded with an MVP season? I think so. Somebody else has a Jaden Daniels' mama agent. You don't need an agent when you're going to get $65 million a year on your re-up, which Jaden Daniels most certainly will do. Wow, that's crazy. And Tasha, the worst part of it all, he was already under a franchise tag that would have given him $26.2 million guaranteed this year. Why whip that up?
I would have played that franchise tag year out. And if I didn't feel like playing because I didn't want to get injured, I was still going to get my money.
Bingo.
That's what I tell you.
Bingo.
I know we talk about a lot of off the field things when we say who's advising these younger cats. But on the field, who's advising these younger cats? Who is his agent?
I need to look that up, and I didn't, and I'm embarrassed that I didn't do that beforehand because his name needs to be said on these airwaves.
Wait a minute. I need to know who this cat's agent is and how is he still in business. Hold on, what is it?
Langston, he said he'd rather pay his mama in new wigs, keep it in the family. Now, those wigs are kind of expensive now in 2025. So, and plus, I mean, you can pay your mama in wigs because you're going to buy her a house anyway. Like, you're going to retire her. I mean, she won't really need much money. I know if I got it, my mom ain't got to work another day in her life. Like, the house will be paid off. If she want to pay that off, sell it, rent it out, Airbnb it, and move it to another one, we good.
Wait a minute. Why can't I find the man's name? They said he changed Rocky Arsenault.
Rocky Marciano.
There they go. Every time a black man talk about boxing, a white man got to pull Rocky Marciano out their ass.
To all of you aspiring seniors that are about to be draft eligible next year, and the juniors with the NFL cachet that's in college football right now, what's that guy's name again?
Wait a minute. Rocky Arsenault.
Y'all stay away from him. You get an email from his agency, run like the plague because it's the New Orleans spelling of Arsenault. He's working for the ops. Like he's working for the Browns. He's a plant. All right. Time for T Sizzle's top 5. This makes its springtime return in honor of Coach Cal and Coach Pitino renewing their Italian mob rivalry today. We want to get T Sizzle's top 5 men's college basketball coaches of all time.
Guys, when I sat down and I just thought about the first few names that popped into my head, because y'all know my list always go over 5. 4 of the coaches on my list name was John. So is that a good thing? Like John to be a coach? But I did narrow it down. I had to take out the Wizard of Westwood, which is John Wooden, because I didn't see John Wooden coach.
Right. That's fair.
I saw Kareem when he's with the Lakers. I didn't know him when he was at UCLA. I do have John Calipari on my list. Lute Olson at Arizona.
Oh, okay. Good one.
I watched a lot of Lute Olson. I have Roy Williams on my list. Roy Williams has the best tan next to George Hamilton that I've ever seen in life. Okay. Roy Williams, Kansas ties, UNC ties, great coach. Yes. I would be remiss if I didn't put these two coaches on here. These are just personal reasons why I didn't want to put them on there, because I don't like them. That's Mike Coach K. Okay. Coach K and Bobby Knight. But to get into the depth of my list, my coaches, my favorite, just for soundbite alone, John Chaney. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. If you don't know,
Calipari he was trying to kill, right?
He was trying to kill another John, and that would be Calipari. So
your Johns is popping today. I'll give you that.
He's like, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. The next one is Dean Smith. Paul is laughing because John Calipari was at a press conference. John Chaney bust up in there, y'all. When I say bust up in there, he busted up in there. I'll kill you.
I'm sorry. It was the way you locked your jaw. You look just like him when you did that. I'm sorry. That video will forever live in infamy.
Then I got Dean Smith. We all know he coached the greatest of all time. He had oh my God, you think about all the players that Dean Smith coached when he was at Carolina. And of course, y'all, my personal favorite, and I know I'm leaving off a lot. There will never be another Big John Thompson.
Right. I was getting worried because I was
like I said, it's how I retire people. Like we said, Steve McNair was retired. We said Serena Williams was retired. Y'all, today is the day that I officially retired John Thompson from my coach, because to me, there's no even though he didn't win all these championships and do all that, it's the impact that he had that he will forever be the greatest coach, in my opinion.
He basically put the Big East on its back, because we say all the time, if you want to drive ratings, you have to be a pick-a-side coach, athlete, player, team, whatever. He was unapologetically Black. Mm-hmm. He was very protective of his players. He graduated his players. He was the first Black head coach to win a national championship. And when they asked him about that after winning that title, and I think it was 83 or 84, he says, I'm more proud of being the first person from the East Coast to win one. He didn't even make it about himself in that moment. Allen Iverson is an NBA Hall of Famer because of Big John.
To his point, how you said his players graduate, he made the best decision for Allen Iverson by allowing Allen Iverson to go pro, because he knew his situation and he knew AI needed that money.
Yes. And when the mom reached out to him, that wasn't his type of player that he usually recruited. But he looked after that single mother and said, I will take him in. And he got him to the number 1 overall pick and a Hall of Fame career with life-changing money for not only – did she want to tell you that? Remember that? She said in the car.
Stop myself.
She said, did she want to tell you that? Hey, our mama wasn't playing no games. All right.
But I also leave off – but we just did males, because again, and Pat Summitt is retired off of the list. I retired her too, because
and I specifically told Tasha men only for this one, because the women, I knew she had a whole separate list for them, and she couldn't have gotten them all into 5. So the women's list is coming in Pat Summitt.
Emeritus. And I also had Jerry Tarkanian Stark, simply because of those UNLV days, those running rebels. Grandma, George Ackles, all of those cats.
And these next 2 weeks, we're gonna find out Final Four weekend who her top 5 NCAA championship teams of all time are, and I'm wondering where that UNLV team ranks, and we'll leave that as a teaser. So, Tasha, who are you shouting out this lovely Saturday?
Every time you ask me who I'm shouting out, I have a list of people, and then I forget. But I do know one, y'all. We all know our good sis Stiana Fernandez. When I say Stiana is a dedicated, I don't care what you say, I'm going to do what's best for my kids' mama, that there has ever been. Most time you go to spring break, everybody say, let's go to the beach, let's do this. Stiana and her children are at Princeton.
Wow.
Because of the simple fact that she drives home the point of education, being smart. Because she'll tell you in a minute, I hate a dumb MFer. That is one thing she will always say.
Right.
Her son is being recruited by Princeton, guys. What? Not just simply because
you never know who's watching.
Not simply because of his athletics, which we know that's probably what he's looking at, but because Stiana has instilled this in both of her children.
Yeah. And Steve, you know we love you back.
And give me a Princeton Tigers t-shirt, Steve. I'll be home in April. Give me a t-shirt while you're up there.
When Elijah go pro and when your beautiful daughter goes pro, this is gonna turn into their podcast. Y'all gonna be tired of hearing about those Fernandez.
Yeah, and Miles too. As long as Miles makes the right decision. Well, she said he was off that narcotic, so we can wear his college stuff now and his pro stuff. But as I tell Treese all the time, I don't care where Miles gets drafted. I'm gonna have on that mink coat in the stands.
But I'm gonna tell y'all this. Y'all better get the cameras ready when Sheila Hastings and Martrice Hastings go up to that podium with Miles. Y'all get your cameras ready, because if there's one thing I know about these two women, is they can put on a show when it comes to those fabrics.
And I'm telling you now, on that draft day with my two nephews, I don't care where I am, I'm gonna be Skyped in, lived in, and I'll be done passed out on the floor. But right. Martrice, you know it, and Miss Sheila, you listening. Soon as Miles gets drafted, I know Peter ain't gonna like this, but I'm going to get me a full-length mink because I'm waiting to every game that Miles plays in.
Hey, the kids are listening. See,
hey, Niecy Pooh and nephew.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we keep this PG. Her kids are listening. Right. Shouts out to Lily and Elijah. Hey, y'all make us very proud. You're built like Desmond Bain, Elijah. If y'all don't know who Desmond Bain is, y'all Google him. He's an NBA player.
No, Desmond Bain, he's built like Bane. I don't know what you're talking about from Batman.
Yes. My boy on the football, the basketball, Lily's doing the softball.
Now, like I said, back to Stiana, making proper decisions for her children.
Right, right.
I mean, I'm not going to mention no names. I know Stiana probably would. A certain place wouldn't let Lily pitch.
But that's okay, because the beautiful thing about this,
because Stiana made the right decision for her children. Guess what Lily doing? Pitching, fast pitch.
Now, and when it comes to Martrice and Stiana, while we're doing our shout outs, we knew them when they were babies themselves. And to see the circle of life come full circle, and we knew they had that quality because they were kind of like my surrogate mothers growing up. I've laid many a time in Martrice's lap trying to get advice. Stiana has always been a leader, has always preached education, even in her own life, being such a scholar. Martrice as well. Good morning, Melanie Taylor. Shouts out. Okay, with the new picture, Melanie, we see you. All right.
I know that's Mel's new profile. She put that up earlier this week. Look
all right, we see you. Dixon County in the house. Oh,
she off that narcotic, Langston.
Now, Langston. Now we know that your son, if he got your DNA, then he might be the number 1 overall pick too if he decides to go down sports. So I'll be 85 years old covering him in the draft.
Look at Big Miles, y'all. Look at my other nephew, guys. Look at Big Miles.
He puts the God in Godson. I am so very proud.
Y'all seeing Big Miles? Saw dog.
Steve's kids are so gifted and kind. Love them. AP Culture checking in. Y'all, there's a lot of Black Girl Magic. A lot of wonderful moms in the comment section right now. We're going to call this an early Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you wonderful, wonderful mothers, and especially
I knew I had a
moms.
shout out. I knew I had it. Did I delete the photo? Shouts out to she would be my second cousin, I think. My cousin Chuck, I'm not gonna say youngest, his only daughter. She will be a permanent resident of Dallas, Texas. She is an anesthesiologist. She is at OU Medical School now. She graduated and she got matched at UTSW.
All right. Well, welcome to Dallas.
To one Miss London.
And Miss London, if you ever want some good soul food, I will drive you over to Sweet Georgia Brown's because you might get scared when you get off Ledbetter Avenue. But Tasha will attest they are good people there. They will load you up with a huge plate, and Dallas will welcome you with open arms.
Go back to Stiana's comment.
All right, there we go. My sister Martrice Hastings got me to step out on faith. See, when we talk about relationships that have spanned 3 decades, it's stuff like this. Like, y'all ain't finna get me emotional. Y'all ain't finna do it. Women's History Month. Love all you beautiful ladies. Ooh, ladies first. Ladies first. Ooh, ladies first. Ladies first. Hey. My stepson Aiden is a junior safety at PCH. Watch out. Hey, do the 5 bird. Boom, clap, 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 clap. Juniors. Boo! No, we're not booing no juniors. All right. And Langston had alluded to it earlier, but we want to say RIP to a legend in George Foreman. Just as successful off the field with his endeavors as he was in the boxing rings. And I just want to give a shout out to everyone. Great picture of him. To everyone that chimed in against the grain, fellas. Langston, Jarrell, Martrice, Stephanie, Mom, AP, Miss Sheila, Stiana, the kids, everybody who checked in today and contributed. Marcus Stone, get ready for Farrah and our take. She should be tipping off here in just a second.
Farrah may be tipping on. Against the Grain is on now too. So I'm gonna have to watch one on YouTube and I'm gonna have to watch one on
right,
because
we're gonna run them numbers up. Way to go, Aiden, as we're showing in. I love my mom. I just want to say that. I FaceTimed her earlier this week, and it was so good to see her beautiful, beautiful face. And you know how to close the show, AP. Tasha, can we get that Spanish translation?
Vamos Azul.
We'll see y'all later. We're on to the Sweet 16. Hey, hey. See y'all. Great show, y'all. Thank y'all. Peace.